Fox News alert: for the first time in almost 150 years, Secretary Mayorkas becomes the second cabinet member to be impeached. We've been telling you all morning. Our next guest returning to Capitol Hill just for that vote, where Republicans relying on him. He is House Majority Leader Steve Scalise. First off, great to see you, Congressman. How do you feel?
I feel great, Brian. It's great to be back here. It's great to be with you. But, you know, look, I mean, I went through pretty extensive treatment for cancer, had a stem cell transplant, and it was successful. And I'm in remission now from cancer. So my doctor said, you're safe to travel again. So I had to be in isolation for a while with that procedure. But now I'm able to get back here, and it made a difference last night. It was important to get that done.
Right. Whether they're shooting at you or or you're beating cancer, nothing gets Steve Scalise down or stops you. But what very inspirational for everybody. But you came in for this vote. The impeachment's done. It goes to the Senate, at which time they're probably going to get rid of it right away. What was accomplished?
Well, what was accomplished was, number one, making it very clear that the border matters to us and securing it is important. And the guy who's the number one person in the country who's tasked with securing America's border is Secretary Mayorkas, and he's failed miserably. And in fact, when he's come to Congress, he's misled, lied under oath, saying the border's secure when everybody in America knows it's not. And so, you know, this is something that we care about. We passed a bill, H.R. 2, that would actually secure America's border. And if the president doesn't want to do it, and the secretary doesn't want to do it, and even if the Senate doesn't care about it, the American people care about it, Brian. They're sick and tired of every community in America being a border town.
Right. And he's terrible, but they'll just replace him with somebody worse, more than likely. So
well, let's in November replace him with somebody better. But at the end of the day, we care about it. We're going to keep fighting for a secure border.
Tom Suozzi's coming back, the Democrat, beats Pillup in the special election to fill George Santos' seat. Was it a mistake to kick out Santos to begin with?
Well, I didn't support removing George. It ultimately is going to be between him and his voters and the courts. But, you know, that's where the membership went. You know, it was a tough loss last night. You know, special elections are always different. It's a different turnout model than what you're going to get in November. And this is a district Joe Biden won by 8 points. So let's not act like it's some big red Republican district. But at the same time, you know, we would have liked to won it. We had a great candidate. You know, we're going to come back in November and win that seat back.
And one of the big stories we have not talked about enough this morning, but we talk about it all day, is Tony Bobulinski, the real hero of the Hunter Biden investigation, who's come forward with an impeccable business and military career and put his integrity on the line and called out 4 years ago the Bidens for what they're up to. Then he finally got behind closed doors and put it in front of the House leadership. And in front of hours of going back and forth, he stood tall and told the truth. And one of the things he says is Joe Biden was more than a participant and beneficiary of his family's business. He was an enabler, despite being buffered by a complex scheme to maintain plausible deniability. He is the big guy. He produced all the text messages. I don't know exactly what happened behind closed doors. What could you tell us?
Well, first of all, that's why we're doing this impeachment inquiry, to get these facts out. But having somebody like Bobulinski, who was there, who was business partners with Hunter Biden, but also watch the flow of the money. You know, again, follow the money. The big guy was coined by, that term was coined by Bobulinski because he knew that Joe Biden himself was getting a cut of the money when they were doing business with Chinese companies. You know, Ukraine companies. This is something that I think is important to make sure that the facts are all locked down tight, and he's helping us get those facts out because he was there.
Yeah, because he met with the CEFC, the Chinese people. They formed Sino-Hawk together. He personally met with Joe Biden in May of 2017. He knows he's intimately involved, and hopefully this story will come out because he's risked a lot by coming forward. So glad you're okay, Congressman Scalise. You're an extremely tough guy. Great to see your smiling face this morning.
Great to be with you, Brian, and great to be back. Thanks a lot.